Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. Welcome to Finish the Story. I am your host, Keegan Ray. This is the best storytelling show in Marietta, Georgia. the number one storyteller show and storyteller podcast in Marietta, Georgia.
Yeah, we're
crushing
the
Yeah, we're
competition.
crushing it. We are crushing the storyteller genre in Marietta, Georgia.
We really are.
I am joined here by my co-host, producer, and best friend, Mr. Trent Ludzak, on the ones and twos.
Oh, the best friend has returned.
It has returned. Best friend cometh.
Did it.
So how you been, man? This is just a us episode.
Good, man.
We had a great episode last week with Amy Brown. What'd you think? You have fun?
Yeah, dude. We drank wine.
Yeah.
Which
kind of got all over me.
we were classy broads.
I definitely was a little tipsy.
Oh, you spilled it?
No, just
you just were.
Yeah, tipsy, just a little buzzed.
You got. That's
Yeah.
what wine does, bro. That's.
Mhm. Especially like the white wines and rosés, they get all over you.
I do like wine drunk.
Yeah, it's a lot better than champagne drunk.
I'm more into red.
Red?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
do
like
too.
one that like kind of hurts to drink in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Red wine will give you a ridiculous hangover, though.
I never really had that.
Oh, I have. I've only had like one or two, and it's just a terrible headache. I guess somebody said it's from the preservatives, but it's like one of those like headache, like where you just want to put like a bag of ice on your fucking head, like those old cartoons.
I got that the first time I drank wine, and it was like cheap white wine.
Yeah.
And,
I've seen
and buddy, I didn't drink wine for probably 5-6 years after that.
Yeah.
And then I was in college and I started drinking, like I was taking a viticulture class, which if you don't know,
No, I have no idea.
It's basically a class on farming, but wine grape specific.
Really?
Yeah, the field of viticulture is just like the field of growing wine grapes. Or growing grapes.
You got to go on Amy's podcast and just be nerdy for alcohol.
I could.
Yeah, for sure.
So during that time, I was trying wines.
Yeah.
And for a while, I was getting bottles.
What a cool class.
Yeah. But then I started getting into drinking wine for the drinking wine part. And I started getting the boxes.
Oh, no.
Not the Franzia, not the huge box.
Okay.
But like the classy small box. That's 4 bottles of wine.
Oh.
And I drink it in 2 days. And that's just regular. And during that time, I was like not having hangovers, which is why I kept doing it.
Yeah.
So I had a great wine phase for a while there.
Did you ever slap the bag? You ever chug it out of the bag? Yeah.
No.
I've seen people do that at festivals, and I'm just shaking my head like you're going to feel like shit.
I was like out of the army in college at that point.
Yeah.
So like I had gotten that kind of partying out of me for the most part.
We had a cousin, Brandy, that used to drink box wine, and all her brothers called it bitch in a box. Because as soon as she started drinking it, dude, she turned into a fucking bitch.
Get mad.
Oh, angry. Just a mean, spiteful drunk.
Dude, angry drunks.
She would say stuff to you that you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago.
It's those are the people who you hang out with that are now the sobers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a reason to not drink anymore.
Exactly. Because they become angry drunks and they're like, okay, this is a problem.
Yeah, that's the person that gives you the countdown on how many days it's been, no matter how many. They're like, I'm 355 days sober. You're like,
Yeah.
Jesus, 355 days since the last accident.
You meet like an old man. And he's like,
Yeah, it's like those fucking
been
factories.
7,400.
Old factories since the last incident, you know? You open up a box of wine, you just erase it.
Yeah.
Bitch in a box. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the box wines, man. Every once in a while, I'll get one. I won't drink it that fast.
How many
anymore.
Thanksgivings do you think box of wine has ruined? like Franzia.
That I've experienced or in general?
Personal experience. No, just in general. Just
Dude.
so many.
I'm going to say 75%.
Yeah. And nothing is more embarrassing than being wine drunk because your teeth are fucking red and your
Yeah.
lips are purple and you're
That's
just slurring your words. Everybody's like, dude.
That's an alone drunk for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to be wine drunk out.
No, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
Wine to me, it's like
It's not a good look.
it's like the heroin of alcohol, you
Yeah.
know? Like
Yeah.
it's like you just it's like a warm blanket, and it's nice to like just have some wine and read.
What are you talking about? So it's just nice to have a little heroin and read?
No.
Oh.
I'm saying if you're out, you're drinking like beers
Okay.
or a whiskey or something like that, but like you don't want to get drunk on wine and be out because it's a different kind of drunk.
Right. A lot of people do that though.
Yeah. Crazy women.
yeah, I was about to say a lot of people do that on first dates.
Yeah. I mean, having some wine out is not a problem. Getting wine drunk out
Okay.
is like, it's just not
Okay.
the right vibe
I
for
see.
me.
I see the difference.
I'd rather like sit and read a book because it's like a warm blanket kind of drunk.
I see what you're saying. Sometimes it could be sexy time drunk though.
Yeah, but I don't
Little-
do that.
But that's like that's a very short window. That's a very short window that you got to hit fucking perfectly.
between that and red vomit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's like when it's like when a girl comes home from like brunch or the pool. You got maybe 25 minutes, and then it's either sloppy time or sleepy time.
Yeah. Hopefully sleepy, honestly.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the one you want.
Yeah. Nothing is worse than when you come home from. It's the same thing as like when a guy, like when you come home from like a sporting event and you've been tailgating all day, and somebody picks you up
Yeah.
and you just come home and you're trying to carry on a regular conversation in the living room, and they're like, "All right, dude,
Yeah.
you've been drinking since 9 a.m. I need you to shut the fuck up." Like, I don't give a shit about how Drew Carey is slowly transforming into Bob Barker. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just drunkenly like, no, the Price is Right changes you. It's like the Joker. Hell, he changed Heath Ledger forever. I
Yeah.
saw a picture though of Drew Carey the other day, and I was like, what the fuck has happened to
Yeah,
this
he's
guy?
way thinner now, right?
And just he's literally just embodying the Price is Right. It's like it's possessed him.
It has. Dude, he's become the Price is Right.
What if it?
It's
Drew
a
Carey, come on down.
It's a nightmare when he's hosting a show because he
Yeah,
just
he had to bid on his soul. Like fuck.
I'm so rich, but
Yeah. I wonder how much he
I
paid
miss
for that.
Whose Line.
It's like Jimmy Fallon. Like they have him chained to that set. Like he
Yeah.
cannot leave. He probably lives there.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy Fallon does because he's an alcoholic.
Everybody says that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't think Drew Carey's not knocking a couple back?
Oh, of course.
He has to. Or on Benzos. There's no way you
Sure.
could do that show every day of your fucking life. That's like Groundhog's Day. That is a living fucking nightmare. Every day you
Oh, The
show up
Price is Right.
and you're talking about the price of blenders. You're like, dude, somebody just put me under that wheel and crush me like a fucking soda can.
Dude, you're sleeping and you just hear that wheel in your head just
Plinko.
click, click, click,
All
click,
your
click,
thoughts
click,
are
click,
Plinko.
click.
Ting, 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 ting.
Oh.
You're just fucking. I mean, and how many of those models do you think Bob Barker sexually harassed? You know what I mean? Like all the
Yeah.
like, because that was
You think
goose in
he
time.
knew-
That was goose in
Do
time.
you think he knew what he was doing, or did the spirit of the Price is Right use him as a vessel?
He's like bidding on people.
Was that his defense? If it wasn't,
What was up with him with the get your pants neutered and spayed? Like, what was that fucking creepy cause that he was always on?
bro, that to
Like,
me,
why did he care so much?
feels like he went on one of the first, like before the internet, he went on like a true information deep dive, and
Yeah.
was just probably just ripped on blow, just reading about like, because here's the thing. There's somebody making a cause out of everything at this
Right.
point,
Yep.
you know? So he just got down a rabbit hole and was like, we have to get this done, guys. It's vital to society.
It's either that or like
that we control the population of these animals.
Yeah, it's either that or like he just has this deep hatred for like dogs and cats. And
Yeah,
it's
he
just
wants
every
to
time he
get rid-
sees a stray cat, he's just out there at night dressed in all black, just beating cats with
He's-
baseball bats.
He's a villain. It's like a Monty Python movie,
Yeah, yeah.
slamming it against a wall.
Yeah, he's just out there, the cat murderer. People are searching for him. Like, have you seen this man? Like, my cat's been missing for 4 days.
Yeah.
Bob Barker's just out there like Gallagher, just yeah.
The key is to find the place that has the fewest Chinese restaurants around.
Yeah. Have you been to that Bob Barker live show? He just smashes a cat like Gallagher. You're in the splash zone.
Yeah,
The price is right.
bro. That's
And that's the best way a cat
don't-
could die. Throwback.
the best way a cat could. Is it?
No, that's horrific.
It's not the best way. Yeah.
No, the best way would
it is. I would say
entertaining,
relatively whimsical,
scarring.
scarring at only if you bring a kid,
If you're in the splash zone,
bro. If you
and you just get you have to wear the poncho. Which, as a kid, I did want to be in the splash
Keegan,
zone. Of
I'm
a
talking
Gallagher
about
show.
people who are buying tickets to this. Because here's the thing.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I think that if he legit set this up as a show, I think that he could sell out probably a 50-seater.
He could definitely open for Steve-O, for sure. Absolutely, dude. Same crowd that would want to see him smash a cat. I thought we were doing it at Price is Right, and nobody knows what the show is. Like, just a segment where he just completely becomes unhinged.
Welcome
He's
to
like,
Jackass.
ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Bob Barker.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jackass. I'm Bob Barker, and
I'm gonna-
please get your pets spayed and neutered, or this wouldn't have to happen.
This is fucking a cat to death.
It's like a Black Mirror episode. Everybody in the crowd's just like, oh, what the...
Yeah.
Old Bob Barker.
I do wonder if Bob Barker straight up like really did a show where he's like, I'm gonna crush cats on my show. How many tickets do you think he could really sell? Like, let's say distance is not an option. The U.S. population. It's a Zoom show. How many people are buying tickets?
Oh, if it's Zoom and people can do it anonymously, a ton.
I'm gonna say not anonymously.
Oh, okay. I don't know. A lot more than you would think. A sickening amount where you would see it and go, oh.
It'd be a disappointing number.
Yeah, how many people are in it? Oh, God.
Did you see the Netflix thing?
Yeah.
The documentary about the guy that really cool guy who who was making these real fun videos.
Yeah, what a piece of shit. Like, what was the show called? Like, don't fuck with cats.
Fuck with cats.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Horrific.
I mean, dude, what a silly story though, with just all these just fat nerds.
Yeah, we're on the case.
Bro, I think that's what gave rise to Karens, because they felt like they could do something after that.
Well, all of that was the rise of Karens was also through the power of Yelp, because it's like people feel like they can be like, I'm going to give you a 1-star review. It's like, I don't give, dude, at a bar in Savannah, I might have told you this before, but they got a Yelp review that was like, the bartender was the biggest bitch I've ever met, or like the biggest bitch bartender, and they framed it and they put it up on the wall, and then on their like door they had a chalk door, and they're like, come see the biggest bitch bartender in town.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's how you embrace
wear
it.
it as pride. Well, it's just like, get the fuck out of here then. It's a dive bar.
If
you don't like it, leave. Fuck you. I never have to see you again.
This is dive bars do get weird, like soup Nazi energy sometimes.
Well, it's because, like, especially in a tourist city, it's like, this guy comes here every day. He pays the rent. I'll never see you again. I could give a fuck less.
Yeah.
Like, you could write 20,000 reviews, and that guy's still coming here.
That is a good point, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he gives zero fucks what you think. Like, people would come in there and bitch about, like, not having wine. And you, like, look around like, you want wine here? You would drink wine here? What the fuck is wrong with you? You have no other go-to? Then don't drink.
That's tough.
Yeah. Then just don't drink. Or be like Aaron Odom and bring your own
bring
glass and bottle.
Bro, that would be such a baller move. It's funny because if you do that at open mics, it's a big problem.
Yeah, the bar gets in trouble. It's like, what the fuck? That's like they did that one time at Laughs and Dress. I'm giving the guys free beer, and I look around, and they have other alcohol in the green room, and I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, you were gonna get me in so much trouble. There's free beer here.
Yeah.
Or go out in the parking lot and drink it out in the parking lot, like a seasoned veteran. Like, what are you fucking doing? Now you're making me be an asshole.
Yeah.
That was like one time I walked in there and it was late night, and they're in it's the office was the green room. This is people's office at the brewery.
Okay.
And I walk in and these dudes are doing coke on the desk, and a girl's reading tarot cards, and I was just like, what the fuck is happening, dude? I'm like, first off, get your voodoo bullshit out of here, Stevie Nicks.
Bro,
like,
tarot and coke is such a weird energy.
Weirdest. I was like, this is not, and they were like separate groups, and I was just like, get the fuck everybody out.
And by the way, are you hammered during all? So you're drinking, right?
Yeah.
So you're like hammered. You're like, guys, stop doing.
Yeah, it's towards the end of the night. I walked in like, what is happening, dude?
That's Hilarious.
Yeah, please, for the love of Christ, I'm never going to get this show again. I was just like, there's a bathroom right the fuck there.
Yeah.
Like anybody could walk in here. What are you doing? It was crazy.
Irresponsible.
And it's like, why are you reading tarot cards in a fucking green room of a comedy show? Like,
Yeah.
I'll tell his future. It's dark and sad.
Was a comic doing the tarot?
No. It was
No.
just some chick doing tarot cards for comics that weren't even on the show. And it's like, why are you even in the fucking green room in the first place? It was one of the 10% beer nights. So I was losing control.
What you might call
They had a 10% beer that was like tasted delicious. It was a stout.
Yep.
And it was just too good.
Dude,
I
those
said,
brewers
do not have this on the menu again.
ever again.
It was like a coffee stout. And it was so good.
And if they used real coffee, it might have also been a little caffeinated.
Yeah. So people were just out of their minds.
Just loose.
Just absolutely. It was called Moonlight Drive. Everybody was on a Moonlight Drive, dude. Everybody was fucking gone.
Did I ever tell you about the brewery I worked at had a beer called Double Black Hole?
No. That sounds awesome, though. What a good name.
We would call it in the brewery.
Or a terrible porn name.
In the brewery, we would call it Double Blackout.
That's what I was thinking.
It was, I think, I'm trying to remember the numbers. It was like 12 or 13%.
That's too much.
I think.
That's too much.
And it had...
Stop doing that. Breweries, stop.
And so this was like kind of developed as like a how bitter can you make it was a trend for a while. And this was so bitter, like technically on like the bitterness scale, it was like almost 200.
What?
Which after I think like 80, it doesn't matter. Like your palate can't.
I was going to say, I've never really heard of anything over 100.
But you can technically make it just because you can't. And he just did it because you can. But here's the thing. You would drink it and it was so well balanced that it didn't taste too bitter or too strong. And you would, like, if you had a pint of that, you're changing the trajectory of your night.
Your night is taking a left turn.
Going somewhere else.
Have you ever had barley wine?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Barley wine.
Same thing.
It took me a long time to develop any kind of taste for barley wine.
No. I drank barley wine one time and woke up and my fucking tent was broke because apparently I couldn't get the zipper open and I just fucking just laid on top of it. Woke up in the morning like, a goddamn bear got in here. Like, no, dude. That's just you on fucking 14% barley wine, just ripping the zipper and just fucking belly
barley
flopping.
Wine is crazy, dude.
It's not. It shouldn't be.
I mean, I think if
that's like what Vikings drank.
I want like 8 ounces of barley wine and no more.
Yeah, that's why they drank it in one of those little horns because you don't need a goddamn Das Boot of it.
But I love like any kind of German festival where you can buy the giant mug.
Yeah, the Stein.
Dude, I love drinking a liter of beer at a time. You know what I mean?
You got to drink it quick too, so it doesn't get like piss water.
Exactly. But you drink it quick, and you put back like a few of those. Mm-hmm. You're having a pretty good night.
But you just have to pee so much.
That's the game, dude.
I know. I hate it.
Loser.
Because then I just feel like I'm in the bathroom for whatever.
Eat a bunch of fucking bratwursts and pretzels and shit. Have a great night.
I mean, I feel like the bratwursts and pretzels help you drink too.
Oh yeah.
Like that's definitely soaking it up.
They sure do.
Nothing better than like a pretzel as a beer snack.
So
What's your favorite bar snack?
Oh, I do love the giant.
You look like a man who has an opinion on bar snacks.
I am.
If I'm being honest.
I am.
All right, so favorite bar snack.
The giant pretzels are great.
Yes. Do you do mustard or beer cheese?
Beer cheese.
Beer cheese, yeah, obviously.
But mustard, if they got like a nice spicy mustard, like a German style spicy, that's nice sometimes.
I went to a place in Colorado that had sausages. They did like a sausage, like a board, like an appetizer, and you had all the different sausages. But they had 7 different kinds of mustard, and one of them was made from a left-hand milk stout. Ooh, it was awesome. It was really good.
Yeah.
But you got to try all the different mustards.
That's nice.
Dude,
I'm not a huge mustard guy. But
I'll do like
if
that
it's
mustard.
fancy enough, it's worth trying for me.
Artisan. Yeah, we're in the artisan mustard market, bro.
But if you have like that yellow goop, I'm not touching it.
No.
Not touching
I don't want that. That's no.
Hate it.
Not into it.
What's another good bar snack? Wings are always good, but I can't eat them at bars.
Yeah.
For the hair
reasons. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's a commitment.
Yeah, you have to wash your face fully after you eat wings.
Yeah, I'm talking about just crushing bar snack. I think a good one, I went to a pub one time and they had homemade chips. They had like the homemade chips and then you added vinegar and salt to it.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they gave you a little thing of sea salt and then a bottle of vinegar and you made salt and vinegar chips. It was fucking incredible.
I will say like good any like made in-house chips are usually pretty awesome as like a easy bar snack that's not too much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I don't do the piss peanuts though. You know what I'm talking about? Just like the open nuts in a bowl.
Oh no,
this is not 1980. Like we know better.
I like peanuts, dude.
No, I like shelled peanuts.
Yeah,
and throw them on the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't do them. People used to do that. The bowl of mixed nuts that are just piss peanut. Yeah, those are just.
I don't touch those.
Everybody's hands are in there. Like, are you out of your mind?
The shelled though, absolutely.
Oh fuck yeah! And bonus if we could throw them on the ground. That's the best part of a baseball game. Just really being drunk, just ripping peanuts.
They figured out how to clean this a long time ago.
Yeah. Somebody figured this out. I guarantee you, they probably just go through with leaf blowers.
Probably, yeah.
And just fucking blow all that shit into the middle.
Bro, during hunting season, we would get. There were a couple times where we just got like big bag of peanuts, and it was just at the cabin, and you'd go back to the cabin and pound. I would pound like an irresponsible amount of peanuts, and then just go back out and try not to fall asleep in a deer stand.
Shit, dude. We did that at Ryan's house. God damn, we crushed some peanuts at Ryan's house, dude. He popped out a bag. I don't think he thought we were like, up. You just sacrificed RIP to that bag of peanuts. It's going down. I know you quit drinking, but I just got back from the Pride Parade. I'm fucking starving. I just had 30 fucking rice beers.
Yeah, we had several rice beers.
I just remember they kept coming back around. I was like, here we go. That goes best. Light beer and salty peanuts is one of the best combinations. Really nice. That's the peanut butter and jelly of white trash.
Well, yeah, that's what we're drinking at the hunting cabin.
Yeah, that's what I said. The peanut butter and jelly of white trash, dude. It's perfect.
Oh, speaking of hunting, I haven't said this on the podcast. This is I showed you the picture.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, I think this is the first year he's ever done crossbow hunting. And he's doing it because it's a longer season. You can just kind of like hang out for a few weeks and wait for the weather to be right when you know they'll be out. And then be like, oh, tonight I'm going out. He did that. He sees an 8-point buck like 30 yards away. It's facing right at him. It's eating. And he's like, okay, I'm going to shoot it right at the top of the neck. Get it. When he shoots it, it takes its head up, and my dad domes this thing right between the eyes.
What?
Dude,
what are the chances of that?
Drops like a sack of dude, and I wouldn't believe it if he didn't have a picture of this thing with just a wound.
Yeah,
right
of course he has a picture.
You're like, holy shit! Like you hit that thing right in the. It's.
Is he gonna get a taxidermy?
Oh, he's getting the
with the hole in his head. Put the fucking arrow in it.
Well, he's gonna like boil the skull down.
Oh, nice.
And then mount it with the
that's
the
even
broken
cooler.
arrow shaft
that's
sticking
fucking
out.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that is pretty badass.
First deer bow hunting, he fucking domed an 8-point.
Yeah, what are the odds of that?
Did you ever hunt?
I never hunt. I've never hunted.
It's overrated.
I like fishing, but I've never hunted.
It's like nice to be outside, but
I don't think I could shut the fuck up long enough.
For deer season, it's too cold.
Yeah, fuck that. Just out there quiet and cold.
I mean, the quiet is not. It's nice to just sit in the quiet and look around and. Maybe it's snowing a little bit, but then you're freezing your nuts off.
That's what I was just thinking. Now I'm just thinking about how fucking cold I am.
Dude, it's literally...
And I'll creep myself out. If we're being real, dude, sitting in a tree by myself, I get real creepy. I'll start hearing shit that's not there.
Yeah. You'll get on edge.
Yeah. Or do you have to pee immediately when you get up there? That's like when you go hide and go seek. As soon as you get in your hiding spot, you're like... fuck, I gotta pee.
Yeah.
Just
Dude.
immediately.
The worst is when you would be like sitting on the ground somewhere at sunup, because then you're sitting on a chair on the ground and it's dark in the woods and you're waiting for the sun to come up, and that's all you're just sitting, you're like out there for like an hour before the sun comes up sometimes.
Not for me, dude.
Like,
no way.
I hate it, dude.
I would hear so much shit.
No, I would hear shit, and I would just be like on the verge of hyperventilating for like an hour until the sun comes up, and then you're like, okay, we're fine.
Because I would be like, I smoke too much. I'm fucking freaking out. I was panicking. I know. I'm just thinking about me out there. I would panic because it might be good for like 5 minutes, but then the heebie-jeebies would set in, dude.
Because you have to be silent. The whole
they come
point
for
of
you.
being out there.
Oh yeah.
Is that you're gonna be there when the deer do their normal thing, and they're not gonna.
Sounds like Terrence
notice that
McKenna. You'll be out there in silent darkness.
Yeah.
You and your mind alone.
That's exactly what it is,
dude. That's when the demons get you, bro.
That's what my.
That's the demons are creep. They're like perfect.
He's convinced
quietly sitting in the dark.
That's what my dad does for like. That's his.
That's meditation. They're not seeing it like that. A lot of hunters, but it's like that is your meditation. You're out in the wilderness alone with your thoughts, the vibration of the universe.
And he likes to walk. Like he knows the land so well. He's just like walking around all over the place.
Yeah,
looking for deer.
That's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, my dad's so outdoorsy for how, like, I'm like I like the outdoors as like a close acquaintance. You know.
Yeah.
Like. The outdoors isn't my best friend.
No. I don't think it's anybody's best friend. It's actively trying to kill us all the time.
That's true.
Like you're just
but you're friends with a cat, so
yeah, which is actively trying to kill me all the time.
Same thing, really.
Yeah. But I got him down to a T now, dude. I've learned how to distract him. Like
out?
when when Banjo gets this look, bro, it means he's in attack mode and he's coming and he's a motherfucker. He's 13 pounds, bro. It's a handful. And he like Christina the other night was like, I've never seen a cat do that. Like he'll just turn on a dime and hiss at you and then squares up. He's just like, you're like, no. And I used to think you could run from him. No. He'll get you. It's like, he'll run up and fuck. And he's like a motherfucker because he'll grab onto your legs. So when you pull, it's like a trap in Vietnam. You know how the soldiers would fall down and the barbs were, he grabs onto your legs. So when you pull away from him, he
scratches you.
So I learned that you just have to have toys around at all times. So when he gets like that, you just start distracting him with toys.
So you just have toys in your pockets?
Basically, yeah. It's better than scratches on my arm, dude.
Fair enough.
It hurts. It's not cute.
But one of these days, you're going to feel so silly at a comedy show when you have cat toys in your pocket.
I'll just be a prop comic like Carrot
I
Top.
to take these out.
Does anybody in the crowd have a cat? I mean, am I right?
Oh, God. Never do that again, Keegan. Never. I will end this show
as soon as I fucking hear it. When I don't like crowd work anyway. I think if it comes up, it comes up. But when people are doing prepared crowd work, it's so gross.
You mean when people are like setting up, like being like, "Hey,
I know what you're doing."
I hate that.
Yeah, I know. I see what you're doing. Please stop it.
I'm getting much better at just doing it naturally with the set, which has been fun. I've been doing a lot more crowd work than I used to.
It is nice to just kind of stretch out a little bit. Yeah. Get to work on some stuff.
And the way that I always get into it is I'll just do my set until somebody in the crowd does, or I notice something about them that I feel I have to address in some way.
Yeah, because there's definitely something that happens and you're like, we have to talk about this. This is outrageous that this is happening right now.
Like last night, I did my opening joke. I was like, it was like a competition thing, and I'm like, okay, so I'll start strong. I did Slowing Down for Kids, which is the one clip that I have. And right at the punchline, the bartender dropped a glass. And I'm like, well, there's the crowd work jump off. And I recovered it a little bit with that. But honestly, they weren't feeling it enough. So
No,
I just
they didn't
jumped
like it?
So I just jumped
Oh,
into new stuff.
That's a tough one. If they don't feel that one, that's like, damn it, dude.
Well, so they kind of got distracted for the punchline.
Yeah.
But then like I did the crowd work, but they were still like
Yeah.
a little tight. And I was like, okay, here's the new stuff then.
Yeah.
That's what I do is once I whiff the front end for any reason,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is a working on stuff set now.
Yeah. It makes me want to just immediately just leave. I'm like, I just want to disappear right now. Just Homer Simpson in the bushes. Just
But you can't.
no. I fucking lost everybody almost at McCracken's on Monday.
You did pretty good.
Nah, but that lady was fucking with me beforehand, and she kept being like, "You're falling asleep."
Yeah.
And then when I got on stage, I was like, "Yo, this bitch told me I need to take
Yeah,
a nap." I was
that-
like, "She's dressed like she's 22, 45-year-old bag," and
Yeah,
nobody.
I
forget what I said, but I was
Dude,
talking about how she
yeah.
was dressed like a
I
kid and
think
she was
you
old.
might have called her a bitch.
Yeah.
Like you swung too hard. For
I
sure.
did.
You-
But she was fucking with me the whole time over there right before I was getting on stage. I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
She's like, are you really about to go? You look like you're about to take a nap. You look tired. Like,
Yeah.
leave me alone, dude. I'm doing stand up from the
Yeah.
next room. I was next door at the empty bar doing stand up. My body was on stage. I had completely left. I had 5 muffins. I was doing stand up from heaven, dude.
Yeah, you were, bro. You were. It was crazy. I was worried that you weren't going to be able to do my podcast when Patrick wasn't there.
Yeah.
Check it out, Trent's Unnamed Podcast. Basically, this
Yeah.
last week, but you really came out. You like came out of it. So then I was like, okay, he can do this on stage, probably.
It was tough.
But it was
That's like
like-
top 5 highest times I've ever been on stage.
You did though. I would say the way that you swung, it is like it makes sense with just being woken up.
Yeah.
You know, like when you just wake up, you're like, what the fuck?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you basically just did that,
yeah.
but then you settled in and it was fine.
Yeah, I had to. Because I felt I felt the crowd just like, yikes. Why is so angry? The crowd was like, I don't know who that lady is,
I
but
remember-
Jesus.
I involuntarily said, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
when you responded.
I think
or when
that's
you
I
said
heard that.
I was
I'm
like,
like, oh my
"Ooh."
God. My bad. I'm the baddie. My bad, everybody. I'm a fucking asshole, dude. My bad.
It was. Here's the thing: you weren't doing bad, but I did notice that you were so high that you kept on doing the ends of jokes without doing the beginning.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
would like. Did you record it,
No.
dude? Like,
Fucking record that.
so
Somebody woke me up to get on stage. Fucking record it. Are you kidding me?
you closed on like your thing about dating, and
It was a poor set.
but here's the thing:
If you were there Monday,
you did it.
my bad.
You have like a whole like 5-minute
know,
bit
I know.
about that, and you started that ending part as if you had been doing the rest of the bit, but you were not.
I know. I was like, I'm just gonna do it.
And I
Fuck it.
think you did that at least 2 other times.
Yeah.
in
It was
the
like I
5
was.
minutes.
I've said this before. It was like I was putting together a puzzle on stage in front of
And
everyone.
Not well.
A puzzle I've never seen before.
You were putting pieces in the wrong
Yeah,
place.
yeah. You're just looking over there like, how do I have 13 fucking white pieces? Like, what
You're
the
like-
fuck is this? What is this picture?
You're like not even working on the edges. You're just trying to put stuff in the middle.
I remember the first time somebody said that, to work on the edges. That shit blew my
It
mind.
blew- yeah.
I was like a
How old
kid.
were
Like
you?
I was a kid. I don't know.
Okay.
Younger, but I was like, what?
I was really hoping you were going to say like 25.
You're like, dude, yesterday when I was working on a puzzle. Oh.
My girlfriend walked up and was like, "Hey, why aren't you starting on the edges?" Because here's the thing. That's one of those things where once you know it, it's insane to see a person not doing
Yes.
that. You're like,
Yes.
what are you even doing?
Yeah. Damn, my arm hurts.
What did you do?
Dude, I can't believe I didn't bring this up to begin with. So I was at work yesterday, and I work with this girl who's like 18 years old, and so she's not like a sautés is we have 13 eyes in front of us, so we're cooking like at any given time we have like 12 dishes going. And so
Okay.
when somebody's making the dishes, somebody's putting them out. So you're like back and forth. It's a lot. Like when you get busy, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And so we're getting busy and things are getting hectic. And like she keeps getting real close. I'm like, hey, don't burn me. Don't burn me. Like stay behind. Don't just turn around with pans. Please don't burn me.
Yeah.
So, dude, in the middle of rush, she just turns around and fucking lays this pan against my arm. But like her response was my favorite because her response was she just turns around and like lays the pan against my arm and then she goes, ah! And so it's like the pan touching my arm and her screaming like directly into my face scared me. So I just go, oh, because I got burned. So then everybody that's on the line is like, what is happening? She's just like, I'm so sorry. I'm like dropping spaghetti everywhere. I was just like, fuck. Oh, I was not expecting that. I just turned around. You burnt the fuck out of me and then screamed in my face. I was like scary. It was like a haunted house. I was just like, ah!
Her yelling before
It was
you
awesome.
is hilarious.
So funny. Just her surprise of just like, ah.
It's funny because you brought it up, so she knew exactly
Yeah.
what she did.
As soon as she
was
and
like,
you could hear it. You always know you burned somebody bad when you hear it because as soon as you touch somebody's arm, you just hear that.
Did somebody put bacon in?
Yeah, it sounds like a Waffle House.
Yeah. Well, no, and it smells like bacon if you cook enough.
And burnt
That's what they
hair.
say.
It depends on where they.
Burnt hair is rough.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's.
I get that from time to time when I'm not paying enough attention.
Oh, that smell.
Smoking the cigarettes.
That's what I wonder too. Is if they burnt people at the stake, right? Or like that would be the most horrific fire ever. Could you imagine the amount of hair that like a person has?
Oh yeah.
You know what I
It would
mean?
Suck for until the hair's gone. Yeah.
Ugh.
And then it would probably start to smell like meat.
It's like a little barbecue.
I mean, if we're being real. And
Somebody's coming out like, hey, what are y'all cooking? Oh, fuck.
they say it's like pig.
A woman. A witch.
A woman.
What are y'all cooking? A woman. Dude, I also thought about how funny it was that when Amy came, she pulled up to the wrong house, 2 houses.
Oh, she pulled up to the trap house.
Yeah, she pulled up to the trap house in a white Tesla. A good-looking blonde white lady pulled up. These dudes looked at her like she was a bake car. Everybody's like, no, this is a goddamn setup.
Nah.
Ain't no way she pulled up here. We are.
Yeah.
They got a SWAT team around the
She
corner.
probably scared the hell out of them.
Oh, yeah. They probably had no idea. They're like,
My poor neighbors.
somebody's serving a warrant.
That's scarier than anything I've seen at any barbecue that's going on right outside my place.
A white woman pulls up in a Tesla. You're like, well, what?
She's trying to do something weird.
Yeah, we're
it
in
would
trouble.
Be funny if
somehow.
she rolled her window down and was like,
I'm here for the podcast.
"Do you have cocaine?"
You're like, Amy, we're down here. She's like, I'm trying to score. I can't talk sober.
Were you?
Fair enough, Amy.
You were the one that was in the car when somebody put some like weed flyers on my windshield.
Yeah.
At my apartment.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I haven't scanned them. I don't trust that shit.
No. They do that like in it's big cities like New Orleans, and I saw one in Nashville. I'm like, fuck no. I don't trust that at all.
No.
I'll just smoke my weed. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm high enough. That's what I always say. I'm good. I'm high enough.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I feel like, is anybody buying, like, weed is not a street drug anymore, I don't think.
I don't think so. That's why I don't understand Delta 8. People are like, you can buy it in the store. I'm like, you can buy weed everywhere, dude. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Just get real fucking weed.
The CBD is the hilarious one.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing like a CBD tincture in your coffee for like inflammation, I get it. But it's like, if you're hitting a CBD vape, what the fuck are we doing?
If you're
here?
like walking around with CBD joints.
I think a lot of people that have cartridges, I think a lot of that shit is like Delta 8. Because I've hit people's cartridges where I'm like, what was that? It tasted like a strawberry, and I feel no different.
I feel like with that stuff, since it's all like lab shit, Nobody knows what any of it is.
No,
And
there's
they're-
no
They're
regulation.
literally just like, we got THC. Let's put something on it and change it and make it do something different.
Well, that's how they did bath
Let's
salts,
see what happens.
because they would like outlaw a certain compound, and then they would just come up with one that was exactly like it but different.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you had
ju-
kids fucking
yeah.
biting people's faces off.
Spice was
Yeah.
the same thing.
That's fucking not good for spice. Any of
Yeah.
that shit.
I told you about when I was in my job training in the Army and some guys got busted for spice.
No.
Dude, they didn't just get busted for spice. They got busted for running a spice ring for the
What?
whole base out of the AIT barracks.
That many people were smoking that shit?
Yeah.
What
But like,
the
here's
fuck?
the thing. You couldn't go into because they couldn't test for it, but you also could get in trouble for going into the store.
What does it feel like?
I've never tried it.
Me either.
And I never wanted to. It
So they
like-
just smoke it like weed?
Yeah. But it's like it's like potpourri with chemicals on it.
So these dudes were like cocaine cowboys, but just the spice version?
Yeah, they just had like a few civilians they knew who would go in and buy the stuff and then give it to them somewhere, and then they were selling it to soldiers on base.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they got busted when I was like, it was like a Saturday night. We were coming back in after like, going out and hanging out somewhere. I couldn't drink at the time. So we're coming back, and they're like, when you get back, there's a formation outside already forming. And they're like, once you get here, just get in the formation and wait, and we'll talk about it when everybody's here. So like, you're there for like an hour waiting for everybody to trickle in.
Yeah.
Everybody gets there. They're like, all right. So what's going to happen is you're going to see some weird stuff going on upstairs. Don't acknowledge it. Go up, single file, straight to your room. And don't come out for the night.
Jesus Christ. You're like, first thing I'm doing is acknowledging everything.
No, you're just looking.
I'm looking around.
Just looking around. Yeah, you're trying to figure
Yeah.
out what's going on. So we
What
go
the
through.
fuck?
We go in the building. We go up the stairs. And at the top of the stairs, there's 5 dudes
You probably thought somebody killed somebody.
with their hands up against the wall. Cops. There's dogs walking up and down the hall.
All for synthetic weed.
Yep. So like, we just go in a room and we find out actually their trial. So when I
And
finished,
that's military police, correct?
Yeah.
So you have no rights.
bro,
They
like,
can open your butt up and look immediately,
like
dude.
if you're found guilty, because they had to go to trial.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. If you're found guilty, like you're going to the prison where you're still breaking big rocks into little rocks.
Oh,
Like
for
you're
spice. Oh, my God. Yeah. Like, oh, brother, where art thou, dude? Just
Yeah.
fucking over spice.
You're going to military prison.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Yeah. So these
Wow.
guys, there's like 5 of them, I think, that were maybe 4. I don't even remember. But after my training was like, somebody messed up and I had to stay at the training building for an extra week before I could leave. But I was like technically done.
Yeah.
So basically all the sergeants, all the guys in charge became extremely cool immediately and just kind of let me hang around and walk around and do whatever I wanted. But one of those days was their trial day, or 2 of their trial days. And I think they both got a year
Ooh,
for fake weed.
that's tragic. That's a tough go. Breaking rocks over fake fucking weed.
Bro, I think
Damn.
2 of them were literally like on like a week from graduating
That's
from the
rough.
school too.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I mean, they were going to get in trouble for something else at their units if they made
Yeah.
it through.
Yeah.
If you're doing that in training,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Dude, training, it was a long training, but it's 20 weeks. In 20 weeks, they set up a baseline
Yeah, they set
spice
up a
ring.
fucking operation. You're like, bro. They're probably like doing Vice interviews. Like here on the military base, they got like the black shadows.
Oh, I wish I remembered their names.
Yeah.
And here's
No,
the
so
thing.
we just get a civilian to go down to the store.
They do the voice.
Yeah.
Which it's like, it's never a good idea, even if they're because somebody has the original footage. It's like, bro, you're just trusting Vice to come in here and fucking interview your operation. Seems sketchy to me. Anytime you're selling drugs, I don't think you should be doing a documentary about it. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, anytime that you're the The consequences going to military prison? No. No fucking way. No. I don't even fucking like bringing weed with me to Alabama, much less on a military base.
I can't remember. Man,
It's all right.
I need to look this up
Yeah,
another time.
I was about to say,
but
we don't need that.
it definitely, yeah, it was. And here's the thing: the schoolhouse, because that's the only place where people in my job trained, was that one single unit.
Yeah.
And they really got horrible, like horrifically strict, brutally strict
Yeah.
about everything, like very little free time for the rest of the time I was there. And when I left, the new kids that were still coming out of the schoolhouse were still suffering for that same thing. Like it was still the same way. Dude, 3 years later, it's probably still like that.
I was just
because
thinking
of
it's
that
probably
one thing.
still, yeah.
It's literally a decade later.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, yeah. I mean, it's like Little John. They now have a rule that says you can't have smoke smoke machines in the fucking dorm. You know, just change the course of dorm room life. Those kids could have been having rockin' Halloween parties. Now they got
Yeah.
dry ice like dickheads.
Yep.
No fog machine.
Which dry is, by the way, way more dangerous.
So dangerous.
Because if you like, how dumb are these kids where they're like, well, we want to save it, so let's just put the cap on.
Yeah, dry ice is nothing to fuck with.
Just make a bomb.
Yes, and not even know it.
Yeah.
Or touch it with your bare ass hand.
Yeah. Well, it's fun to play hot potato with.
Yeah, but if you're drunk, it's like jumping
No, if
over
you're
the
drunk,
fire.
You don't
You know,
want
when
to throw that.
everybody plays that game, the old jumping over the fire game. Really, you didn't understand that the game is who's going to get burned first.
Yeah.
That's the real game.
Yeah.
Because every time I've ever seen that game, somebody gets too close and Icarus is out and fucking puts their foot right on a hot coal every time.
I never, that never happened when I was playing that game. We got lucky.
Oh, I've seen it a couple times. Somebody come down on it. It's not like the worst burn because, I mean, you jump up, but it ain't great. Burning your feet
Yeah.
is never good.
What's the most irresponsible you've been with fireworks?
Oh, shit. Me, myself, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you a couple of these. One time we were on the beach for 4th of July in Destin, and one of our buddies, we were walking down the beach, and you know those mortars that you put down in the thing?
Best ones. Yeah.
Dude, he would light them and he just threw it. So he lit one and just threw it into the water next to us, but didn't say anything. So we're just walking and it's nighttime. This thing went off, dude. I fucking dove into the sand like it was D-Day. I had no idea what just happened. Like the sparks engulfed our whole, like, yeah. The sparks engulfed everything around us. Like everybody around us was, like just like the explosion, because you don't think about it when you put it into a mortar, it goes so much higher up in the air, and then it was like,
Because it's a tube.
right when he just threw it, the explosion was so much bigger than anybody thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I think
You ever
also,
put one in upside down?
yep, and it just blows up.
Fun
It
game.
fucking blows shrapnel everywhere.
It's the best on accident. When there's like, it's like the family get together.
Yeah. One time our buddy had the one of those boxes on the beach, and he didn't set it up good. And it was like one of the
Yep.
ending boxes, and when he lit it, it fell over.
Yep.
Dude, it was
We had
just
that happen once.
Everybody's go, and then it does those.
Dude, my family get-togethers got pretty good after a while with the fireworks. Because like after that happened, what we
Yeah.
figured out was get like some big pieces of wood and glue them to that, and then put that on a trailer and have them all lined up
Oh,
in
okay,
a row. So you just roll the trailer out into a field and go through and light them one by one.
dude, that's some white trash fun right there.
It's a
That
good
is
time.
so much fun.
Yep. Same field we'd go with the clay pigeon thing and just go shoot,
That's awesome.
playing games.
We used to have when we were kids, they would give us Roman candles, and we'd fight. Like you would fight across
Yeah.
the street and try to shoot each other. That was like a big thing.
I had some friends who played battleships with mortars on a pond where they had two people on each canoe, and one guy was paddling the canoe and the other guy was using mortars, and you put it in the tube and hold it against your chest, and you try and shoot the other boat.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure it says not to do that on the back.
Yeah. My
That's
favorite
amazing.
is with mortars is hold it above your head. Dude, you feel powerful.
That's awesome.
But then it occurred to me one time that maybe the bottom of those aren't
Yeah.
always the
yeah,
strongest.
it's made out of fucking bullshit plastic,
Yeah.
and you're just trusting it like
that it's
that's
not
like
gonna
when a
blow
Roman
out the
candle,
bottom.
when a Roman
'Cause
candle
here's the thing,
betrays
if it
you,
blows out the bottom, it might just fall.
dude.
And then you got to run.
And you just got a fucking rat's nest of hair just on fire.
All right. Here's my most irresponsible. I can name the thing because it's one of those like you ever do firework Rube Goldbergs if you know what I mean, where you use fireworks to light fireworks and you set it all up ahead
Yeah.
of time.
Yeah.
Bro, we took a mortar and we stuck it in a gopher hole.
Some Minnesota shit.
And then around the gopher hole, we took an entire like one of the big packs of bottle rockets.
Yeah.
And we put them all facing up with their wicks facing in towards the hole. And it worked way too well. And we didn't stand nearly full.
It's like a game of mousetrap.
'Cause
You got
here's the
shit
thing.
going off.
The explosion that lights the
The fuses.
fuses on the bottle rockets also pushes the bottle rockets to face out. So
Yeah.
now it's just a barrage of bottle rockets swarming you, and then a mortar goes off 25 feet away. You're like, what the fuck did we do?
That's awesome, dude. Fireworks are so fun.
Oh man, we got to do fireworks.
Yeah.
of these
One
days.
time my Uncle BT, you know, I assume was drinking. So they were hanging out. This is like before we were
Uncle
real young.
BT,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's a pretty safe assumption.
Yeah. Uncle BT might have had a couple alcoholic beverages, but my dad said that they were at the family thing and he was setting off a Roman candle and he set it off and it went into the bag. And so he runs over there like, oh shit, to like grab the bag to get it away from everybody. Well, then he's just running with a fucking bag of fireworks going off. So as he's running around like not knowing what to do, everybody is just like running from him and like diving inside, and he's just out there with shit's
Oh man,
like the panic though of like you're
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm gonna save the party, and then you pick it up like I have made a
I
horrible
ruined the
mistake.
party.
Yeah, I am the problem now,
yeah. You do got to secure all your other fireworks.
dude. Have to.
You ever go fishing with like M80s?
No, but I want to.
You go. So here's the thing: it doesn't kill them. You just get to like pick up a fish for a minute.
Oh, it just stuns them.
Yeah.
So it's like a cartoon. They're like
Yeah.
seeing the.
So you drop some stuff that they like.
Yeah.
So that the little sunfish
That
come
seems
up,
unfair.
and then when they're
That seems a
and
little
when they're
cruel.
around, you take one and you light it
That
because you know
seems-
you drop a firecracker in the water.
I mean, if you
it
were
still
keeping
goes
score
off.
of this podcast, you might think we hate animals. Like if you
yeah. I have made it clear that I do multiple times. Keith.
yeah. That's hilarious.
We talked about how cool it was. My dad domed a
Domed the
buck.
deer, yeah. But that is the coolest.
It's the coolest. Yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, just the chance. I've only shot a bow a couple times, and it's pretty intense.
I mean, this is a crossbow.
oh, okay. So it's a
Yeah.
crossbow. I thought he was doing the.
No.
We watched a guy at a company party when I went to the Morgan Creek company party. We'll have to edit that out. The cabinet company. Oh, fuck them. They fired me 3 times, dude. Fuck them. They fired me 3 different times. Like the first time they fired me was for COVID. And I was like, I get it. You know, I'm sorry. Like, it's okay. Then they brought me back, and then they were like, well, we just don't have enough work, and fired me. And then I got brought back the 3rd time. Then the 3rd time was my fault. I fucked
did
up
that.
everything. Yeah. They came to me and they're like, I was sanding these doors, and they're like, hey, you know, you made a mistake. You sanded this wrong. And I went, oh, damn, dude. How many did I do? They're like, all of them. And I had been sanding these fucking things for 4 days. So I just literally looked at them and was like, I guess I'm going to Fernando's office. They're like, I guess you're going to
You
Fernando's
did.
office.
You did 4 days of work wrong.
Yeah, full days. So I sanded so many.
I mean, that's a little on them for not catching it after the first
That's what
day.
I was thinking, like, why
If
the
it-
fuck do
if
y'all
it
just
goes
got me?
past one, every day past one is on them.
Yeah, I fucked them up. I fucked up everything. I put the things on backwards. I just, at that point, I was like, I'm out of here. Like, I guess I quit. Like, I'm
You
getting
had
fired
a real,
again,
you had
you
a real
know?
Blake moment.
Yeah. Well, he's like trying to shake my hand. I was like, wait, we don't have to do that, dude. This is the 3rd time I'm getting fired. I'm kind of over it. Like,
We can fist bump at this point.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you the old. All right, dude. I'm not good at this. I kept telling him that all the time. I'm like, I'm not good at woodworking. Like, I don't know if it's too early. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm too stoned or too bored. It's too much of the same shit. Like, it would
Yeah.
be a cool hobby, but not every day
Yeah.
in the sanding department. Like,
yeah, like make something.
yeah, I would talk to people. They're like, I've been here for 10 years. Like, what the fuck is going on with you?
Yeah.
Like, how? 'Cause teach me how. How do you turn your brain off? Because I would fucking love that.
Yeah, it becomes like factory work.
It's
at a
crazy.
point. And factory work, dude, is the most mind-numbing shit.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped working at the canning company when I was doing beer canning, because it was just like it became. We stopped working as many like beer jobs where we were going to craft breweries and doing the thing, because that's fun. You're hanging out with brewers, listening to music, and just hanging out. We started working stuff where we'd go like can water at this place for 3 days.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that, you're just going and setting up the equipment, and then you're effectively just being a factory worker running that equipment day in, day out.
That
for 3
time
days.
goes so slow too. You start looking at the clock like, what?
Yeah.
30 minutes?
Oh, and we were
It's
working.
been 3 years.
We were working like 12-hour shifts.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's where you start living for the breaks. It's a
Yeah.
dismal life. It's
So
not good.
when we got to that
For me,
point,
my brain's going a million miles a minute, so it's like torture for me.
bro, there was one time we did one of these where we were working in a Fireball factory where they bottle Fireball, and we were just in a corner of this spot.
Oh,
And
what was the smell like in there?
Not good.
No, I don't think so. They're putting like arsenic in that
Yeah.
shit.
So we're in the corner of that canning some like other product that's also rough. And like, so we can't drink it. We can't sample any of it because we're in
No.
a factory setting. And
And that's not the place to be
No.
sampling alcohol.
And
You
it's
don't need to
also-
be nipping the bottle in a factory.
and it's also not good product.
no.
Um,
And you don't want to have, like, people are always like, well, you can just wear headphones. I'm like, yeah, that's not always the best. You
And
don't
this
need to have
place
2
wouldn't-
headphones on.
this place didn't want us to have headphones.
No, because it's dangerous.
I mean, we would put them in.
You do both?
Well, here's the thing: is like we're normal, not both.
No.
Um,
Yeah, see,
like
somebody with a
also like
forklift
that
is-
job was once you get it figured out, you're basically just babysitting a robot.
Oh, okay.
So like,
So it's a lot of automated.
well, it's an automated process that you're monitoring and making small adjustments as they need them.
Ugh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That
So
means you're just not
it's just
doing that
hours
much.
of that.
Jesus Christ. 12 hours of that.
Yup. Actually, so that did you ever see me when I gashed my head open?
Mm-mm.
So it's since I've had long hair, but up here, it was at that factory, and I pulled it off where nobody. I'm really good at having medical things where nobody finds out that could possibly like be an issue.
Yeah.
So, because like these canning lines, there's these things that flip the cans upside down, put the print the date at the bottom, and sanitize it
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
And those things have some jagged edges, and you got to walk under them, and you're walking under it all day. And at the end of the day, I walk under it and I bang I stand up into it, and I'm like, oh, I hit that hard. And then I did this, and I had a little bit of blood on my hand.
That's the worst feeling.
And then I did this, and I had a lot of blood on my
That's
hand.
the worst feeling.
Dude, the bathroom's like one of those super long, like factory corridors.
Yeah.
Like they make the corridor between the break room
Mm-hmm.
and the factory floor like super long for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to walk down that whole thing, and the blood's starting to run down my arm and drip and shit. It's like I'm trying not, and I'm like catching it down here. I'm trying not to drip on the floor because I don't want anybody to like track blood into the bathroom. Dude, I go in the bathroom, I start getting nauseous.
Yeah, I don't want to be a burden with
Yeah.
my head wound.
Yeah. So I'm like throwing up in the bathroom.
Oh no.
I finished
Bad
because
time.
I have this weird thing. I can handle seeing blood, but my own blood up to a point, I get nauseous every time.
Yeah, that might be your personal evolution. Your body just being like, holy fuck.
That's too much of my blood.
Not good, not good.
So, but then I had to like basically clean it up and then overnight let it scar and let all the blood dry, and then I just had to like flake the blood out.
Yeah,
of my
I'm not
hair
a
over
doctor,
time.
but I don't think that hiding a head wound
Yeah.
is the is the procedure.
Bro. Well, I didn't want him to cut my hair.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god. You're like, oh, I bashed my head. Let me go to
Yeah.
bed.
Yep.
That seems like the.
Well, I knew I wasn't. I knew I wasn't concussed.
No, I know.
It was a sharp edge that cut.
Oh
But I have a crazy scar up. Do you want to feel it?
no, I don't
have
do
a-
well with
I have
shit
a-
like that.
Like if I ever shaved my head, I would look like an insane person. Because I have like, I told you earlier, I cut my head when I was a kid back here. I have like several head scars.
Looks like a fucking potato.
Yeah,
All
I
kind
would,
of gashes
I would
in it.
look bad.
Yeah, that's crazy. That sucks. So you didn't get stitches or anything?
No,
What?
just let it heal.
How many stitches do you think it should have been?
I don't think it would have been a ton of stitches,
Yeah.
but it probably could have used a few.
Damn.
But yeah, no, I just like basically I just used ointment, a lot of ointment.
Ointment. What
Yeah.
ointment? Neosporin?
Yeah, like antibiotic
Yeah,
ointment,
yeah.
make sure it doesn't
I
get
don't think
infected.
I mean, I guess that's a pretty good way to go about it.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's
I know.
fine.
What
But
a
it
nightmare.
did. Here's the thing. I think because as like the scar,
Then
I had part of my hair that was just stuck up there,
yeah.
so I had to wait for the scab to like start to fall out before I like had access to all of my hair for a while there. It was pretty fun.
How funny was it us just trying to describe what workers' comp was to Amy?
I forgot.
He's like,
about
I'm
that.
not getting it. We're like,
No.
well, when you have a job, huh? All right, let's back up.
Yeah.
That was so funny. I'm like, yeah, you're just fucked. You might as well just cut your whole hand
Yeah.
off. Dude,
I mean, it's fine.
how I learned not to wear both headphones at the factory was I was watching the dude I was telling you that did meth that was always all fucked up, cutting shit. You're like, this guy is a liability. But he was at the table saw and he was doing a 2x4 and it got jammed up
Yeah.
and it came back and it shot this thing. Dude, it shot this 2x4 at waist level, probably 200 to 300 yards across his factory, and it just slammed against the wall and like splintered.
Yeah.
And I looked over, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
dude I was working next to goes, and that's why you don't wear both headphones. And
Yeah.
I was just like,
You gotta be able to hear when that happens.
yeah, I just took it out because I didn't hear it. I didn't move. And that's what he was saying. He's like, bro, you didn't even move. I was like, that'd change your life. Because
Oh,
if that
yeah.
hit you, that would level your hip. That would
Dude,
fuck. I don't
yeah.
even know.
It would shatter your hip. You probably would never walk the
Mm-mm.
same, if at all.
And when, oh,
Like you'd have a cane.
yeah, with no health insurance, you might as well just take me out like a horse and shoot me.
But how cool would it be to have a cane?
No, not at all. Because the guy that I work for had a walk like that.
Well,
Like
you
he had
just-
a limp from like falling off of at the top
Yeah.
of a cabinet.
Well, you got to get a cool cane.
I guess
Like what?
canes are always in the fucking way.
What kind of cane would you get? Like a sword one, obviously. That way you can end it whenever you need
Nah, I was
to.
thinking like a wizard thing.
Oh, you get a you're
Like
thinking
a staff.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
okay,
sure.
Okay.
I was doing
that.
that when I would go hiking, and I just felt like a fucking loser.
You really.
I like took it, and then like some cool people walked by me, and like REI shit, and I was just like, dude, what a fucking idiot I am.
What a tool.
Yeah, what a fucking douchebag, dude. I was out here with a fucking haggard stick. They're like, look at this fucking idiot. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, I was using it because I had this stick when I would play disc golf in the like spring when it's snake season.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, well, yeah, when your disc falls on a snake. And I was like, when you're what? I'd never even fucking thought about that. I was like, hold on. That's a thing? And they're like, well, yeah. And then the snake is pissed off. So as soon as you go to pick it up, you get bit because you just smacked
Yeah.
it with a fucking disc.
Yeah.
So then I just brought a big stick and I'd flip it over.
Yeah.
And everybody made fun of me. And they're like, dude, you're so scared. And I'm like, yeah.
For sure.
I'd rather do this
Yeah,
100
snakes.
times than the one time that I reach down and get popped by a snake.
Oh, I never played around venomous snakes, fortunately.
I just don't want to get bit by any snake.
No.
That would be a shitty way to finish my disc golf round.
I feel like a little snake wouldn't be bad because you would realize how much it's not
Well,
that
let me
big a
bring this
deal.
up because I haven't brought this up on the pod. I'm glad I thought about this. So last time we went hiking for Christina's birthday, right? We're walking down the trail and we go down to the waterfall. We're taking pictures. We're doing all that fucking lame shit. And we're,
Yeah.
having a moment. And then we start walking back up the thing and all of a sudden she just goes, "Ugh," and she just jumps back. So as she jumps back, I jump away from her because I thought whatever it was by her. As I jump away from her, the snake is like going down the hill. So he's like kind of airborne and it just flies by me. And I'm like, ah! Dude, I like fucking dodged it. And I looked at her and she's just standing there like expressionless. And I was like, what the fuck? And she goes, what? And I'm like, you can't even say snake? She's like, I was so scared I couldn't say anything. I was like, I don't need you to give me a fucking Steve Irwin rundown on what kind of snake it was.
Just say snake.
Just at least point and say snake. Like, that's it. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I just got really scared. And I was like, holy shit. I almost jumped right into it. Dude, not even 5 minutes later, we're walking down the trail and I'm like still shook. I was like, damn, dude, I'm still thinking about that snake. And then all of a sudden, she just jumps back and I start walking forward.
You knew what it was.
And a fucking snake runs over my foot. But this one was a gardener snake. The other snake was like patterned. So it was immediately like when you saw it, you're like, this is a cottonhead or cottonmouth or a fucking water. It's not a black snake. So I don't know snakes. So I just run. But it was like she did the same thing. She did. And I was like,
let me walk up.
It's a one
I'll show you how
syllable
it's
word,
done.
just snake. I don't need you to give me some sort of like complicated.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so frustrating.
Move left, snake coming.
Just point at least,
Yeah.
because 2 times I ran into the line of fire of the
Yeah,
snake.
yeah.
I was like, God damn it. You know who did that to me when I was a kid?
Who?
Lucinda. Dude, one time me and Lucinda, this is a true story, we're sitting on a swing on the back porch, right? And all of a sudden, dude, my mom looks down and she just goes, nope. And she gets up from the swing. Well, you know when you get up from a swing, it like swings you back further.
Yeah.
So I go swinging, and as I'm swinging back, I look down and there's a fucking fat snake right beside us. And I'm like swinging over it. So as a kid, I just pick my feet up and I look up and she's from inside. She's like, snake. It's like, dude, totally abandoned her child, had no motherly instincts. I go running inside and I've looked at her and I'm like, what the hell? She goes, I don't do snakes. Dude, this is a woman that was notorious for that. Me and my brother were in the ocean with her one time and we just turned around to see my mom sprinting onto the beach. And she turned
saw a
around and she
fin.
goes, shark. And as we turned around, it was a turtle. His fin went up into the wave, and it was just so funny because it's like me and my brother were like, it was a turtle. And you showed your real fucking colors out there, Lucinda.
Yeah, you really,
You really showed your real colors out there.
real Casey Anthony
Yeah,
energy out
just
here.
leaving your children out there. Just abandon your. She goes, and what the fuck am I going to do if it's a shark? What am I going to pull you out of
Yeah.
it? No, every fucking man for herself. You knew what it was when you went out there. My mom's ruthless. She was like, they say you can't save somebody from a shark. You're like, that's drowning people, Lucinda. Not a shark attack. Yeah, she was out. The best part was looking up and just seeing her running onto the beach. She said when she was a kid one time, they were swimming by the pier and some guy was screaming at him. And my mom thought he was like hitting on him. And he's like, screaming. She couldn't hear what he was screaming. She's like, yeah, fuck you. You fucking creep. Like, God, leave us alone. And then he's up there screaming shark, but he had like such a thick accent of like somewhere in East like Europe. She couldn't understand him because of the distance. But I was just like, that is so funny. You almost got bit by a shark.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, you fucking creep. Leave us alone, dickhead.
Well, she learned that day. She doesn't take chances now.
I think that was the origin story. My mom was crazy, bro. She told us a story one time that to this day I do not believe is real, but we'll bring it up when my brother's on the podcast. Before she took us to a pet store, she was like, I had a friend that had a ferret. And the ferret crawled up our other friend's neck and bit him. And when he bit him, and they're talking about the lady who got bit by this ferret, was like bleeding out. And as a kid, that terrified me. I did not fuck with ferrets. And then as I got older, I realized she just said that because there was no way in hell she was getting a ferret.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a fucking crazy way to just say no to a ferret in your house. Like telling some dramatic, traumatizing story that never happened.
My parents were completely honest with us about ferrets. They were like, ferrets stink.
They're the butthole of
here's the
animal
thing, you
kingdom.
don't believe them. And then one time you go over to your friend's house
that has a ferret,
and you're like, oh, mom and dad are right. Mom and dad are smart. They know stuff.
My brother brought home a chinchilla from elementary school that was like the class pet, and it got out dude, my mom had a fucking full meltdown.
Big problem.
Oh yeah, it got out. My mom was like, ah! Like it was cool
Dude,
in the fucking.
terrified of a chinchilla.
She doesn't do any crawly things like rats,
Oh, okay,
mice,
yeah.
bro. She don't do any of that shit. Like
But
sharks,
chinchilla?
chinchilla, and it got out and it was just running around. She did not
Yeah.
fuck with it. That's what I'm saying. She's like, quit playing, because me and my brother thought it was hilarious. She's like, get that fucking thing back.
Yeah.
And then the dog almost ate it. Like the dog picked
That
it up.
sounds right.
Yeah, the dog picked it up and we're like, Indy. Think about that. Your dog just munches the class pet. That's a
Hell yeah.
problem. You got to go back into the school. Would you buy
Oops.
another one or admit?
Probably,
Yeah, I would just buy another
You'd
one.
have to. If you're a reasonable parent, you're going to
Yeah.
buy another one.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can't tell like an
Yeah.
8-year-old that the dog munched.
My sister had a snake for a week. And the thing, so like if you Google how to find your snake if it gets out, do you know what it tells you? You're never going to see that snake.
Oh no, that is the
If a
worst
snake-
thing that you could
If a
find.
snake gets
Oh,
out, you're
shit.
never going to see it again.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
The first thing you're like looking for any sort of comfort. You're like, oh please God, like let me just tap on the floor 3 times and they'll come to the vibration. They're like, you're fucked. That snake now lives in your house.
Yeah, pretty much. Wow, sound traps. Apparently they got something new. Apparently you can do it. I remember we Googled it and the first result that Google gave us was just like, give up.
Right.
It was like, there's nothing you can do.
Dude. I mean, that's
Well,
a problem.
By the way, we are over an hour 10.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to tell a story about snakes, but I don't know. Maybe I'll save it. No, I'll tell it. My
Yeah,
uncle
we
one
might as
time
well.
was hanging out with some crazy bikers up in North Georgia. No, who knows what they're doing.
Cool people.
Yeah, just some cool guys, dude.
Upstanding citizens.
Hanging out in the fucking Appalachian Mountains. Biker club. They got matching vests. These guys are
Yeah.
best friends.
They're in a club.
I'm sure they just play Uno and don't do anything.
Yeah.
So I guess he was in there and they were picking up snakes because,
That's
biker
what bikers
club
do.
in North
Yeah.
Georgia, obviously they got snakes,
Yeah.
dude. So he was going to go in and grab a copperhead.
I brought this one in with my saddlebag.
Yeah, dude. So he goes in to grab a copperhead, and as he goes in to grab it, it's like glass dividers. Well, I guess they didn't fucking realize that the rattlesnake was in the same cage. They thought it was in the other cage. So when he reaches in to grab the copperhead, he grabs it. Rattlesnake bites him.
Nice.
Lets go of the copperhead. Copperhead bites him. And then these dudes are like, they have no
Oops.
idea what to do.
Yeah.
So he starts like, dude, when my dad said they got to the hospital, he said his arm was like black and swollen.
That's
like,
good.
The only reason he didn't die was because one of the dudes in the hospital knew about like venom and like anti-venom and shit. He was the only, and it was like a nurse, not a doctor.
Yeah.
It was
and they
like-
just gave him the right stuff.
But he was like, he lost his hair. Like that shit fucks you. Like anti-venom is but the pain, he said,
Yeah, I
sitting
bet.
in the hospital was so intense and so bad. I would love to
bet.
have him on to tell that story from his perspective.
Getting bit.
Oh, twice on the same hand. That's just like, you're either gonna die or become like a supervillain or like
Yeah.
a
Did he like
superhero.
lose his arm or anything?
No, didn't lose his arm. That's what I'm saying. The nurse knew enough about it because they were gonna do something like do some procedure. The guy was like, if you do that, he's going to lose his arm. Like 100%, he's gonna lose
Wow.
his fucking arm. And it just happened to be some dude that was in the hospital knew what to do.
Appalachian nurse, man.
I mean, that is probably worst case scenario.
Bro, a
Getting bit
nurse
by
missing teeth.
You know he was. You know he was. Like, you know that this guy just came out like the crocodile hunter. He had to. Those guys come out when you need them, you know?
Yeah.
Like if they're it's like when you call somebody to get a raccoon out of the house, you're like, this is exactly who I thought was going to get a vermin out of the house. Like, this dude
Yeah.
show up looking like us.
I told you I got to talk to a real moonshiner once, right?
No.
Yeah, dude. When I was in college at App State, Appalachian State, I was, out in the mountains of
So
North
like, this is
Carolina.
Uncle Dave. He can't be anywhere near the school, so we got to meet him off campus.
I was hanging out at the brewery, and like I didn't get to the point where I could buy moonshine off of him,
Oh, yeah.
But man, he's just one of those like giant white beard, crazy hair. He had
Exactly
the
what
biggest,
you think.
floofiest dog that was just like attached to his belt and was just real chill.
It's like straight
hanging
Ian
out.
Aber, you know?
And you talk to this guy, and he doesn't know a lot about a lot.
Yeah.
But I was taking like an organic chemistry class, and this guy was so many levels ahead of me
Yeah.
on like literally the science part of everything. Like he's talking about like chiral centers and shit like that. That I'm like, I just am introduced to this concept, and he's like talking about doing math about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like how sophisticated it is
Yeah.
out there, and he's probably like out in a holler somewhere.
He is for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a weird conversation because like he was just talking to me about distillation stuff and like the level of chemistry that he got out of just generational knowledge, basically.
That's wild.
Pretty insane.
Moonshine is crazy. Moonshine is insane. We had moonshine one time, and we used to go over to this guy's house that had a killer basement in high school, and we go over and hang out at his house. And then one time we go over there, and I won't say any names because this is a crazy story. So we go over there to hang out, and we're all hanging out, and I was like, dude, I got this moonshine. So we got these girls. They have a hot tub. We're hanging out, and then I'm like, I like thought to ask like while we're drinking, I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Like Matt is cool with this. And he goes, oh, he didn't know. I just know the code to get in. And I'm like,
Whoa,
dude, what? He's like, yeah, they're out of town. And I'm like, well, at that point, you're already fucked up. You're like, well, I can't drive
We're already
home.
in.
Yeah, we're already in it. The hot tub's hot and the girls are in it. What are we gonna go tell the girls like, hey, actually we're fucking illegally here? Yeah, that's not gonna go over well. But I remember we were putting it in, what is that purple Mountain Dew? Midnight, whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Pitch Black.
Yeah, it was like the special edition one.
Yeah, the grape
So,
stuff.
mhm.
Oh, I remember.
So they poured that up, and he makes me and him a glass, and we're gonna share it. So he puts enough moonshine for me and him, and I'm like, dude, perfect. This tastes great. Then one of the girls just walks up. She goes, "Whoo, it's hot in that hot tub," and she drinks this, just pounds it because you cannot taste the moonshine in it. And I remember looking at my buddy, just being like, "Yikes, dude." Now we have a problem.
Dude,
like this
watching
girl was so drunk at our friend's house that we weren't even supposed to be in, and she immediately is just like that game Rampage. Like she's just knocking shit off the walls. She's fucking falling over stools. Her friends are trying to it was a nightmare.
Real problem.
Oh yeah, real problem. That happened one time we were at a house and they invited us over. It was in Bradshaw Farms, and we're like hanging out with this girl, and everybody's down in the basement, and she had people over, and then all of a sudden these adults come downstairs, and the dude goes, "What the fuck are y'all doing?" And she just goes, "Run." She didn't tell us that her friend was out of town. So now we're all trespassing, and the dad was pissed.
That's rude.
So I remember he's like running through the basement screaming, and I'm like, I didn't know what to do. So me and my buddy went to go run like what we thought was the exit, but it was just upstairs. So then we come barreling into this kitchen, and the mom's like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I remember we didn't have our shoes on. So we're running, and I have my shoes in my hand, and I'm like sliding on this hardwood floor, and I can hear the dad coming up the stairs. And I'm like,
Oh,
front door, front door,
no.
front door. And so my friend's like, I got it. So he goes to open it, and when he does, he just slams into it because he's pulling the door, but the deadbolt.
Oh.
So, dude, he slammed so hard I thought he was going to break those weird side windows on
Yeah.
the door. So we just go running out, and there's literally cars just peeling out everywhere. And this guy's just standing on his front porch like he has no idea what just
So
happened.
mad.
I mean, could you imagine? I think about it as a kid.
Furious.
It was hilarious because we were just like, I cannot believe she didn't tell us that we weren't supposed to be there. I was like, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have stayed and hung out. It would have
Yeah.
been the same. But it was just so funny that like nobody knew.
I
This
was
guy
never
just came
cool
home. I was
enough
like,
for-
that was before Ring cameras. So you
Oh,
could just
yeah, you
have like a
couldn't.
fucking house full of people and not
yeah,
tell your
you
parents.
really can't do that anymore,
Fuck
can you?
no. Ring cameras ruin everything.
Yeah. I was never cool enough for house parties when I was a kid.
We knew a couple of people that had like their parents had cool basements and they had like pool tables and stuff. I never had a cool basement.
Nah.
Mm-hmm. I always had that shitty unfinished basement or something.
I mean, we had like kind of a cool basement, but no like pool tables or anything
Right.
like that.
Our buddy had like that 70s show basement. It was nuts. Had like couches.
Yeah.
It's like as you got older, you're like, I think your dad was smoking as much weed as we were. Like,
Probably.
you know, like I think back on it, I'm like, he did have an amazing record collection. Like this dude, that was the first place I ever heard Led Zeppelin. We found his records. That was like, we put that on. I was like, dude, your dad is cool. He's a dickhead, but he is so cool. Like, he might be the coolest. He had a race car that said, Oak Tree, you're in my way. That's a quote from Leonard Skinner, baby.
I'm going to guess that guy died wrapping the car around the tree.
No, my buddy did wreck it when he was 15.
Damn, not even driving age yet.
No. So him and his dad, and then we'll end on this. Him and his dad washed the car, and it was a M8 BMW, but they had made it like a race car that he could take out on the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And they get done cleaning it. And he's like, Dad, do you care if I drive it through the neighborhood and, you know, just dry it off? And he's like, yep. So he drives it through the neighborhood. He's like, fuck it. I'm going to just like drive around the neighborhood, take a left out, and come back, go the long way. Pulls out of the neighborhood, gets fucking T-boned. 15 years old, no license, your dad's race car.
That's big trouble.
Oh, yeah, that's worst case scenario. But my friend, that shit was always happening to us. Like one time he backed out the driveway as he's telling me, like, be cool, don't act stoned. They're going to let us borrow the car. And he backs up and forgot to open the garage in front of his parents. Just like backed right into the garage door.
You ever think, man, I was such a chill kid. My parents are so fortunate.
Oh, we were the worst.
That I didn't wreck their car.
I mean, just the odds of pulling out and getting hit. Like, it's like, don't.
I mean, if you're 15, the odds are so much higher because you're not like...
You're not aware. And
he's
he's driving a race car, so I'm sure he's not great on the stick.
not paying attention.
Yeah, I'm sure he was probably stalled out, if we're being real. And it was this little blind curve right there, like coming out of the
so
neighborhood.
he probably just stalled right out, right in
and just
the
got
road.
slammed. Like, remembered the Titans. Shout out Gary Bertier. R.I.P.
Are you trying
to
to
the real
hold
legend.
me hostage now?
Yeah. All right, guys, we're done. Trent's done. I do want to say thank y'all for tuning in. We do have T-shirts. We're gonna give you all the information. We're waiting on somebody to tie dye a handful of them, so we're gonna get some T-shirts tie dyed. We'll have the information where you can find them. I am gonna start doing shipping for anybody that's interested. And yeah, thank you for watching. Send this to a friend, man. Bye.